Hi everyone, my name is Abhiraj Garikapati. Welcome to my YouTube channel Amazing Abhi. Imu executes Luffy with Gaban saving him in the final minute with Imu having all of his weapons revealed. Yes, he has access to all 19 of the 20 King's weapons, summoning them all at once and buffing Summers and killing him by giving him his weapons. We have us up unlocking his advanced observation Haki more Imu lore, and Luffy just literally getting executed. Let's get right into it. Be sure to leave a like on the video, helps out so much. Thank you very much. And of course subscribe, rate done of consistent in quality One Piece content like this. If you love anything related to the One Piece manga, trust me, I recommend subscribing. I'm gonna be posting the full rules on Thursday, so subscribe so you don't miss those. But without further ado, let us get into it. The chapter of the title is King of the World, and yes, the hints video that we made yesterday, every single hint was absolutely 100% spawn, like it was completely accurate to the point that yes, we basically knew this whole chapter from yesterday already. The cover page is not me sculling Luffy's or Ansenji, and they turn into monkeys. So that it starts off with Imu getting another weapon called Sea God Sword. So this is his third weapon that we've seen, and he stabs Luffy again as if the first mortal wound wasn't enough, and he pins Luffy to the tree with both of the sword. So the second sword that we saw from Lifestyle, and the life-sealing sword alongside this new Sea God Sword. Then all it says is that Usopp senses something bad has happened to Luffy, which is an observation feat, and I want to remind you this is an insane observation feat considering how far Luffy is from Usopp and the gang, and the fact that Usopp can sense it across a giant island, not even a normal-sized island, a giant island. Kind of an insane observation Haki feat. As always, Luffy, you know, he's been the best in terms of just mastering all the Haki, so we can't compare him to anyone. But Usopp has been fantastic in terms of sheer range of his observation, like he's actually had one of the best you've ever seen. Only comparable to Fujitora, to be honest, but yeah, like Usopp's moment. I think it's coming. He sends his Luffy for a reason. I wonder where that's gonna lead. Gunko's ice has melted, but she still hasn't regained consciousness, and this is kind of crazy. But Loki remembers a conversation with Shanks the day when Harold died, and we actually get details of the time. Shanks was talking to Loki after Harold died. Before we move ahead, please take a second to like on this video. A like tells me that you enjoyed this topic. Your support helps Amazing Abhi grow naturally. Shanks said the world government was preparing for the future, and it's saying in quotes war, and told Loki that the enemy is the king of the world, which is of course the title of the chapter. So that's kind of why Loki was already aware of. I'm not shocking. I'm gonna give Summers a weapon called Sword of Wrath to fight Zoro, and then he gives Killing Up a weapon called Spear of Holy Command to fight Sanji. Now, this is very important. But we actually already know this Sword of Wrath sword. He used this against Loki already. It's actually one of the weapons that he was using the most, but it seems this Spear of Holy Command is a new one. So this one we haven't seen before, and as it was all said again, every single spoiler. Hey, we already knew from the hints. As always, love the hits from yesterday. But all of the weapons Imo uses are weapons that belong to the 19 kings from 800 years ago. You might be confused saying, but aren't they 20 kings? Well, Imo was the 20th king. So that's what it's 19, not 20, and I will read you more spoilers. So the text is finished, but we actually have even more spoilers after this. The chapter ends with Luffy about to kill Luffy with the Xingqian axe. Actually sounds Chinese, is probably from one of the Chinese 20 kingdoms, but Gaban pairs and blocks Imo, and we have even more information. But before I get into the break next week, as we already talked about the hints, we knew this since yesterday. Still kind of sad to see now the more in-depth spoilers is Amo summons another sword Seagate sword. So we already know this, he pins Luffy to the tree and before he can kill him with the third new weapon. Kind of crazy. So as if that one stab wasn't enough, Luffy gets 2 stabs through him, a spend like my god on the tree. Amo is about to finish him off with the Xingqian axe. I'm sorry for saying that wrong, but Gaban actually saves him from Amo, and apparently this is a clash of axes between Gaban and Amo. Just phenomenal stuff on his to go out, and just further details is that as we already talked about. Amo gives 2 of his weapons to Summers, and killing him, Summers gets this Sword of Wrath, which we did see him use against Luffy. And killing him gets the Spear of Command of Holy Command. I wonder if remember that one time though he incorrectly drew killing him using a weapon from Amo. And we also that was a mistake. What if Oda actually just accidentally drew the weapon killing him was supposed to get later in the art? Might have been a funny mistake, but yeah, it is just once again showing us Amo is hot, like just heavily carrying the Holy Knights first with his Omen and now giving them like the 20 Kings weapons now. This is completely extra, but Amo summons all of the weapons from the throne room, these weapons belonging to the 19 King, so it says that he summons all of the weapons. I don't really get if this means he's summoning them all at once or if it's one by one. The way I'm interpreting it from the other translations is that it does seem like it's a one by one thing, so it's not like he's bringing out all 19 at once, which could still be the thing, like we may see that later down the line, but it seems like he's pulling them out one by one, and of course with Shanks mentioning to Loki that the battle is against the King of the World, and also just some good detail in writing, so this isn't really a spoiler. But worst, Jen says summons gets the sword, killing him gets the spear. Luffy's wings facing opponent with a sword and spear, which is funny because the Nika has a sword and spear, implying that Luffy's weapons, his wings, those are his weapons, kind of beautiful things. And it kind of crazy that Joy Boy in the past took on the 20 Kings. One of which being the literal devil Amu, and it seems like all of these 19 other kings were not scrubs. They were not random people. It does seem like they had monstrously powerful abilities, like each of their swords literally beating Final Saga level. So the fact that Joy Boy took all 20 of them, Amu being one of them in a 20v1 of his crew, my god, like it kind of makes you realize why Amu is saying you're not Joy Boy. You're too weak to Luffy. Luffy is definitely like Admiral level, Yonko level, but it seems like Admiral and Yonkos cannot even compare to somebody like Joy Boy. Before we move ahead, please take a second to share on this video. Sharing helps this video reach friends who may also enjoy anime, gaming, travel, cricket, chess, career basics, or personal stories. Your support helps amazing up high grow naturally. Which makes sense. I mean, just a burst from his haki sent all 5 elders. Well, I guess 4 at the time, like instantly detransformed and sent them back to the Holy Land. Simply a burst of his conqueror's haki from 800 years ago. Cannot even imagine how much of a monster this guy is. Like Joy Boy in his prime could definitely take on like 2-3. Male's true 3 on coast, probably with disgusting ease at that, like he probably could take on more. So with all that being said, it makes sense why Amu was so disappointed, and Luffy's strength kind of makes me a kind of question, damn, like how stronger is Loki compared to everybody else, and I wonder how Gaban is going to fight against. Even because yes, Gaban is clashing with even at the end of the chapter. I don't know how long he's gonna last. I don't know how he's gonna do it. Is Scappa Gaban. So he's not like a weakling, but still this is king of the world. Emu, like I don't know how long he's gonna last, and Luffy seems to just be pinned down to the tree with like got it stabbed twice through 2 mythical weapons. Loki is out for the count too, and Usopp having his observation haki moment. I don't know what the panel looks like, so I don't know how cool it looks, but he is using observation haki like he senses Luffy's dying. I do wonder if that's going to foreshadow Usopp doing something. There's going to be something involved in that, but I really hope it is, because it is about time Usopp gets to do something in Elbaf's goddamn art. And Heat is my favorite straw. He's not one of my favorites. He is my favorite and he is my favorite One Piece character, so then I've been seeing him get slammed to death, and I really hope he gets to just shine. And there's this whole discussion going around of these spoilers coming out like the Holy Knight. Once again carried by Emu once again. They need him to buff him again and again which I guess is true. But doesn't change how much of a threat they are using weapons, from the 20 kings buffed, by Emu's Amen, and then they already have mythical devil fruits themselves. Well, some isn't a mythical devil fruit, but Jesus Christ, some is thorn through is ridiculously powerful. I think it is one of the strongest devil fruits in the whole series. I know it just seems like, oh, the thorns, but this is a general admiral level devil fruit. Or maybe some is the one making it that strong, not to say he's admiral level. I don't think he's definitely not at the level by the way, but his devil fruit is stupidly OP. It's really crazy how strong his devil fruit is. But that is all from me. If you love anything to do One Piece manga, trust me, you're not gonna get subscribing, and of course leave a like on the video, so you don't miss out on so much One Piece content, especially if you watch this part. It does help push it out. Thank you so much if you leave a like this, or for me. Everybody have a wonderful day guys, and take care. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to Amazing Apai. Subscribing makes sure you do not miss the next video, and it gives me motivation to keep improving the quality of every upload. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one.